What's up, YouTube? CharminEXSoft here, coming at you guys with a brand new Star Wars Battlefront video. And today, we're going to be talking about some more Bespin DLC information. Now, yesterday I was able to go ahead and catch the live stream that happened for the Bespin DLC on StarWarsHQ's channel. I know they still got a couple of videos up. I actually think they have the video for the live stream up, so I'll be linking that down in my description box below if you guys want to go ahead and see that live stream. But they actually showed us quite a bit of new information and whatnot with this DLC. And first off, I gotta say, after seeing the live stream, man, the maps, everything, the atmosphere, it just looks gorgeous, guys. This is going to be a must-buy DLC. It looks freaking amazing. But they showed us quite a bit in this stream. They didn't have as much time as I probably would have liked, but I mean, I understand time constraints. So it was about an hour long, but they did try to cover as much as they possibly could. So I'm just basically going to go ahead and tell you some of the stuff that I noticed and whatnot and that I saw, and try to bring you guys some of this information if you haven't, in fact, already seen the live stream. So right off the top, they showed the electronic shot grenade. This was a pretty cool object right here. Now, it does not deal any damage, but it will, in fact, stun your targets, and it can even stun you if you're not careful. So make sure you are aware of where you're throwing that thing, or you might find yourself in a bad situation. There's also going to be implementing a new partner system, allowing your star cards to cool down faster when you're within 20 meters of your spawn partner. So they're trying to make the game more partner friendly in that sense, supporting your team, that kind of stuff. So again, if you're going to be near your partner, that's a good thing because your star cards will in fact cool down a lot faster. Now, we also saw some red guards on the maps and whatnot, and it was explained that the new red guard, the Imperial Honor Guard, whatever, the Imperial Royal Guard, they are now going to be the new Emperor's Guards, like they should have been, you know, from the start. That's how they were in the movies. So you're not going to be able to get them as a unlock for your person, but if the Emperor's on the field and you want to protect the Emperor as a bodyguard, then you will spawn in as one of the red guards, which means the Shock Trooper skin is now going to be an unlockable skin for the Imperials. So that right there is pretty cool. Dennis Barville was there. He also did mention something about more Imperial skins. I don't know if there's going to be more in the Bespin, or if he was just hinting for the future that there's going to be more, but there may potentially even be some more skins coming out in the Bespin DLC, but that is not confirmed. I'm not really sure about that, but it would be really cool to see some more. On top of the bodyguards getting switched for the Emperor, they are also switching for Princess Leia. Now her guards are going to change to the Alderaanian Honor Guard. They're going to be armed with the DH-17s, so that's completely changed up right there. That's going to be interesting to see. I mean, they look great. You guys remember them from Episode 4, all protecting the doors and whatnot, you know, with the helmets that were white and they're kind of long in the back. So that's going to be pretty neat to see them. They're kind of making those basically changes like that were reflected in the movie, so that's going to be pretty awesome. Also, another important thing to note is all of the Bespin DLC modes and whatnot, they're all going to be like 32-player matches. So I didn't hear a mention of Heroes vs. Villains, so I'm kind of curious to figure out how that's going to work. But I don't think they're going to have maybe like a Heroes vs. Villains on Bespin. I could be wrong, but they did say, like I said, that the Bespin modes are going to be 32-player matches. So that's going to be interesting to figure that one out right there. They're going to have a new mode that they were talking about, which is called Sabotage, where the ultimate goal for the Rebels is to blow up 3 Tabanan gas generators. Now, these things right here, the Tabanan gas generators, they're going to be you know, placed around the map, 3 different locations. It's best to probably attack them all at the same time so that, you know, you don't blow up one and blow up the next one, and then you got stuck on the last one, and you have the entire opposite team over there just fighting at the last one. So if you can get multiples at one time, that's probably the best thing to do. But you really want to blow up these generators because the purpose of them is to power the Imperials' equipment on the planet of Bespin, essentially powering things like tractor beams to keep the Rebels trapped on the planet. Now, in this game mode, Rebels will start out with 4 hero pickups on the map, kind of like how they had an Extraction where there was a hero pickup and you can kind of progress, but this time they're bringing 4 hero pickups on the map at the start, so the Rebels can actually get 4 heroes at the start. But keep in mind, just like in Extraction, if he dies, he can't be brought back in. So that's a big one right there. Now, so it's going to be a big advantage to the Rebels at the start trying to blow these things up. They're going to have 4 heroes running around like crazy, trying to kill people and stuff like that. It's going to be kind of intense. But here's the thing. After those 3 generators get blown up, then the Imperials get their hero tokens coming in where they also can get 4 heroes. So if you are a Rebel, you want to protect your hero as best as possible because During that extraction time period, the Imperials will in fact have 4 heroes coming after you to stop you from extracting from the planet, so that is going to be rather fun to play. Now, when it comes to the heroes here, the new heroes, the Dengar and Lando Calrissian, it was stated that Dengar is actually going to be voiced over by Simon Pegg. He is the person who did the voiceover for Dengar, I believe it was in the Clone Wars, and Lando, they actually got Billy D. Williams to come out there to voice him over. So these are the real actors, my friends, actually voicing over these characters. There's going to be a booby trap ability for Lando Calrissian. Basically what's going to happen is Lando's ability, he'll be able to drop a shock trap that to the naked eye for the Imperials will look like some sort of pickup. And what it does is it actually removes Lando off the radar of the enemies and will instead put a marker on their radar, kind of, you know, attracting them in the direction of that pickup, thinking that Lando's over there. They're going to see that pickup, and then they go to try to pick it up, and basically they get shocked and killed, and that's just going to be pretty awesome to see that working out there. So if you are on the Imperial side, watch out for that, because there is some booby traps around. I did notice that with the X8 Night Sniper that Lando uses, it does in fact as well also have a night vision. His is not so much blue, but it is a yellow, so I think it's just a little bit more powerful, maybe just a little bit more better focused. They didn't really go into the color difference between the X8 Night Sniper that the players can use and the one that Billy D. Williams Lando Calrissian can use, so I'm not really sure how that works, why the color is different, but we do know that the X8 Night Sniper he carries in there does in fact have the same sort of night vision type effect, just a different color. Now, like Greedo and Neonom in the Outer Rim, Lando has some sort of confidence meter type thing where the more hits that he gets, the more critical chance he in fact develops, which in turn equals more damage that he will deal. So that's pretty cool, pretty interesting to see. He does have, you know, like a meter gauge like that, so I do like when they implement that into the heroes. I did enjoy that, in fact, a lot in the Outer Rim. Now, they didn't show Dengar. They weren't able to, again, on the time constraints and everything like that, so I apologize for not having much information on that. But as I find out more, I will definitely be bringing you guys that information. So now, again, all the modes are going to be 32-player, including Fighter Squadron and Drop Zone. So now, basically, Fighter Squadron is going to be the largest one ever on the Bespin DLC. They say that you'll now be able to use the Cloud Car not only in Fighter Squadron, but also in the other large-scale maps, but it cannot leave the atmosphere as said by Lucasfilm, so keep that one in mind. What that basically means is that if you're not playing on a Bespin map, say you go back to Hoth and whatnot, and you want to go into Fighter Squadron or any of those kind of things, you're not going to be able to use the Cloud Car because Lucasfilm says the mechanics of this vehicle require it to stay in the atmosphere, so it will only be usable in the atmosphere of Bespin, so keep that in mind. Now, some details about the Cloud Car. They say the Cloud Car is going to be the fastest air vehicle they've ever had, and it can also go slower than any other vehicle that's out there, so it can turn better. So it's the both fastest and slowest depending on how you gauge it, and it has a radar jammer and a concussion missile. They're also going to be making a change to Fighter Squadron to Rebel shields. So basically, if the Rebels activate their shields, it's now going to decrease the power of the air vehicle's weapons so that they're not as strong. So you know, during that time period, that's something to keep in mind. If you do put up a shield, you are definitely not going to be shooting as strong as what you used to be. They feel that, you know, it kind of gave them a little bit of an OP advantage, so that's how they're going to be trying to balance that. And one last thing about the Cloud Car is in fact a neutral vehicle, as people have already stated. There is a blue version for the Imperials and a red version for the Rebels. Fighter Squadron is also going to be getting another tweak where the score is being upped to being a first to 400 opposed to a first to 200 to give it more length and whatnot. And on the Bespin maps, they're going to have those Tabanic gas generators and whatnot floating around, giving you some more objects and whatnot to kind of duck in and duck out and dodge between and whatnot, so which would be pretty cool. So now let's talk about the changes to Drop Zone real fast, because like I said, they're going to be all 32-player maps, which is going to be a little bit of a chaos thing when everybody's fighting over one pod. So what they're doing now is they're going to drop 3 pods at the same time. When one pod is captured, another will automatically drop, and the mode is basically a first to 10 at that point. So that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be wild to have all these players on the map. I am excited to see how this all comes to play. There was also some other changes I thought that were really interesting coming to this game. I am really excited for this one right here. They're going to be tightening up the spread on the bowcaster. So now you can use it without the jump pack. You know, they recognize the fact that the jump pack was basically the only real effective way to use the bowcaster, so now they're making the spread tighter. Instead of being in a line straight across, it kind of stacks over top each other in almost like a circular group. I thought it was pretty interesting because now it looks like it's an effective, true weapon that you should be able to use. So I'm really excited to actually get my hands back into playing with that bowcaster again. Another change they're going to be implementing into the game is now you'll be able to deactivate certain star cards, like say the personal shield or the ion shot. So if you want to drop your shield, then you can go ahead and do it at your own leisure. You in fact will still use the card, but nonetheless, if you decide that you want to drop that shield for whatever reason, you can go ahead and do so. The ion shot, for example, is another good one. If you go ahead and use your ion shot and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of players ahead of you, you don't want to go ahead and shoot them with ion shot because it just weakens your damage. So now you can cancel that out. Again, it still burns the card, but you can turn it off when you want to turn it off. So that's really awesome. Explosive shot is going to be getting a little bit of a nerf. I don't know if people are going to like it too much, but it is getting a little bit of a nerf. Explosive shot will now overheat twice as fast. So now people are probably not going to be using that card as often, but we'll see how that all works out. Anyway, guys, again, I am really excited for this DLC. I cannot wait for the full release of this thing on June 21st for Season Pass holders. I myself am a Season Pass holder, so I will be bringing you guys all of the awesome coverage that you guys want from me. Weapon breakdowns, hero breakdowns, all that good stuff for the Bespin DLC. I am just so excited and pumped, and I cannot wait for this to come out. But let me know what you guys think. If you saw the live stream, I definitely want to know your thoughts and opinions on this. And guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you out. And if it does, please feel free to go ahead and slap that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to join the Charmin today. And you guys are more than welcome to comment below and follow me on my Twitter to stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. I'm CharminEXSoft, and as always, thanks for watching, and y'all come back now, you hear?